5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're done when I see you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're done when I see you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Friend, you're done when I see you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're done when I see you. 5, 4, 3.
Welcome to another edition of Nikki B and Friends. What up, friends?
What's going on, Nikki B?
Ain't nothing going on, Shannon. What's going on with you?
Nothing much. I just finished the project management boot camp.
Congratulations!
So I got these, they call them PDUs. They're kind of like units that go towards a collective amount of units that you need to apply for the exam. So now I just need to go ahead and get my references. Everybody that I worked on projects with, I just need to kind of write up something to say that I worked with them, how many units or hours that I worked with them on their project, and I can go ahead and apply for the exam. So pray for your girl.
That's what's up. Congratulations. Huge accomplishment. Go ahead and check that up off your list because you said we was checking stuff off the list. Go on and check that one off already. And this is still just January.
Right.
So same old, working. Let me see if I've got a chance to check some stuff off on my list. Or I said last week about the multiple streams of income. So you said something about A-Bond. So I've been getting some sales off of A-Bond. I ain't seen your order yet.
Coming. Don't worry. It's coming. Trust me.
I know. And so, but I did want to share because, we got a lot of, actually more feedback of this episode. So there's a lot of people welcoming us back. Happy to hear us back. It was people talking about what we talked about in 2019. I found it funny that people wanted us to talk about Amarion and Fizz, and we didn't.
Because we so over it.
Right. And so it's like Amarion won, so it's really nothing to talk about. Fizz and April not even together no more. So
they not. And Did you hear that he canceled them off of the tour on Fizz's birthday?
Right, he shut it down on that day because that's when they were saying after April did that little, how you do the little, happy birthday shout outs on Instagram. Then Amarion made the announcement. So then people was all under that birthday message like, shut up, B, this National Amarion Day. So, so the other thing that I found funny was a lot of people, actually, you guys know that I'm from Chicago, so people was coming in talking to me about the R. Kelly thing. It was a lot of people that wasn't happy. People wanted to get
I told y'all.
And so I do actually have somebody that's on the line holding who I told that they could call in so they could get a viewpoint because they really wanted to share their viewpoint. But I can't believe how many people came at me about that. But
trying to tell you.
Yeah, you did. Now, this was the most interesting. So I want to say it was Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. I only get so many notifications. So it's not like I subscribe to a lot of people notifications. So I get an Instagram live notification. So who could this be? Because, oh, okay. Global Money saying something. Let me go.
What?
Let me go and check this out. I go on in there, room popping, just people just bloom, do another line going in.
Oh
people.
My God!
And it's Coach.
Out of here. Doing what?
Got his own show. After he was, his time, how busy he was, and all of this stuff. I go on there, but here's the part that really got me, Shay. the guy who was on, it was a guy on there talking. He was inviting people in, but it was a guy on talking when I tuned in. And what the guy, this what hurt me. The guy was like, man, I'm so excited that we're doing this again this week. I was hoping you came back. What? Meaning this 2 weeks, this is the second week you doing this? Exactly. So show was popping. Coach ended up, I guess he had different people on there. You rating music. It was a lot of conversation and comments at the bottom and stuff like that. So I was really, I'm telling you, I'm tuning in from now on, but it's really just the way that he went about how busy his schedule was. Y'all can go ahead. I don't want to hold nobody up. You guys go ahead, tape without me. I jump in when I could jump in, because but never said nothing to me about, but hey, on Wednesdays, check me out. Because when I tell you this live was popping, it was hundreds of people up in the, I'm like,
laughing,
clapping, and was, man, this live, and the comments was coming in, and I'm glad you doing this. Yeah, I would recommend it. So, without further ado, Coach, what you been on?
Welcome. Okay, welcome.
I have a lot that I could say, but I think something says it better for me. Yeah. And do the Cabbage Patch. Shit, boing, boing. Did you miss me?
Wait, that's the show from Tommy Davidson show.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
The Varnell Ren 10. I haven't been up to, too much of anything. Just happy to be with you guys. So take some time out, to give back, spend some
Man,
time.
gone.
No.
Okay. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it cracking. That's what I'm here for.
Right. So, like I said, we got a lot of calls, people who reached out about the R. Kelly thing. So while we've been doing this, the young lady has been on hold. So now I am going to go ahead and push, the mute on this. So we could hear, what she, had to say. So hello, TP. How are you?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Thank you.
And so go ahead, TP. And
I just want for my little 2 cents, and it's not like, I don't have anything extravagant or anything to say, but I just want to say that I just don't like the fact that we don't support our people like we should, I think, because we should understand that the information we get is not real information, especially if you're looking at only mainstream media. They're going to tell us what they want us to hear and know in order to swing it in the direction that they wanted us to think about this person. And I just think that is bigger than R. Kelly, because I am by no means condoning pedophilia at all. But the fact of it is like, I'm still trying to understand what new charges have been brought against him. They circle back around to the old one. And if he's getting charged for the old one, then the parents need to be charged as well. It's like he's been kind of put out on this cliff and left to hang there. When I don't believe he is solely responsible for all the stuff that's going on. I think he just made some people mad, and so now he's going to get it. And I think that we help throw these people under the bus when we say, oh, yeah, crucify him, you know, when the fact that I think it's a lot of other things that went down when it comes to this stuff. There's a lot of condoning of these girls' parents and all that type of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I think that is not being brought to the light. But of course, it's not going to be, especially when we talk about mainstream media. But I think it's just much bigger for us, especially in Chicago, where we want to talk about laws. I mean, because my biggest concern is it's a gateway for more of us to be in prison when it comes down to being charged for something and then found not guilty. Are they going to be able to turn and spin it back around and come back around for you again after they let you go for something? That's the biggest concern, because it's stuff like this that creates new laws and affects all of us.
That's true.
And I just think that we just should kind of take a step back before we take their word for it, what's going on, what's really going on.
Thinking that they're trying to have us focus on looking one way and then something happening the other way.
Yeah, you best believe there's some underlying things that's in the works. I mean, it's the bells and whistles. There's always some new laws being brought to surface. It's like it gives them the time and leeway to be putting these new laws into fruition when we're concerned about the cattiness of it or the gossip of it all. And that's what happens a lot. You know, they come up with new laws every day just to imprison a certain people.
That's true. I would agree. And I think that one of the things that you said that I could say that I agree with and really hadn't thought about, and that was the bringing back up the old charges. Because I do know when the circumstances happened to Bill Cosby and all of that, and that, you know, he had did that deposition that was supposed to have been closed, and then they made special circumstances where they opened it up, you know. Mm-hmm. So I agree. So we appreciate, you know, you giving us your opinion, making people think. That was deep. So you'll have people definitely thinking, and that's what the show is all about. We have a lot of fun here, but we do want other people's opinions as well.
So did she make you guys think about our last conversation, or how you've been viewing the R. Kelly situation?
I think my stance has always been that, you know, I think it's really gross and disgusting what he's done to these girls. However, there's more than just a responsibility for him in this whole thing. Like I was saying, like, I could never tell my mama that I'm going to do anything with a grown man that she has not met and approve of, and for any reason, for a record deal, for any reason. It just wasn't going to fly. So I feel like, you know, she's right. Like, we need to, you know, have the adults, the parents own in on some of the responsibility to this as well.
Okay. Coach, did you have time to listen last week when we discussed the to the show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you have any comments about it?
No, I'm not at this point. Like not too much of anything. Nothing to say new to the topic. I would say, you know, obviously there's a lot of negligence going on for a lot of different parties for that to even be able to take place for so long. Right. So yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to. But I will say this, because not too many people say it. I just don't think that we need to keep doing documentary specials about it at this point. I thought the last time to do 3 nights of specials about everything that he was doing, I thought that was overkill at that point. Mm-hmm. And to still be doing it now, it just doesn't. If the purpose is to bring light to it and help help the situation, then I think that that's already been accomplished. So I'm not really sure what's to do at this point. Once you do anything, no matter what your message is, especially when you're just trying to bring exposure to something like that, at some point it's hard to not look at it as either trying to profit or have ugly intentions with that approach. Because it's more than 20 hours of media coverage on this at this point, where it's just like, okay, we get it. Now let's actually let the legal system do its job, which they're actually doing at this point.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, so now let's go ahead and move and jump right into our topic of the today, which is, so we see so much on Facebook, especially anytime the new year begins, you know, people saying what they're going to do, what they're not going to do. And so, you know, the topic at hand is going to be, you know, how long do you stay in a relationship? Do you put timelines and time frames on relationships? And then do you, you know, stick with those or whatever? And I think I'll just start off just by saying a little bit about, you know, I think that expectations should be maybe set up front. And then I also want to say that, just for the record, one of my, I cannot stand when I see somebody and they post about their relationship. What's understood don't need to be explained. Yeah, it does. Because either y'all together or y'all not. Sometimes they with other people, you know. And then if y'all don't want to explain it, keep it up off of there. Keep the drama up off of there. So, go ahead. Either one of you guys can jump in about, do you put a time frame on a relationship?
Okay, I'll kick it off. Now, just to touch on the point you made, like with people, when they do stuff like that, and they be like, well, what's understood don't need to be explained. They go out their way to try to portray something to social media. Most of the time, that's embarrassment within self. You know what I'm saying? Where in your situation, even if people don't know, like usually with something like that's hurtful or embarrassing to you, you feel it so much that you feel other people notice. You know what I'm saying? So you're trying to prove something to people that don't really even know your situation half the time, nor really care. Most of the time they don't. But since it's so close to you, you just like, I know people know. Let me at least save face to these people out here. But I think you should do what work for y'all. I think when it come down to, you know, and it has to work for both parties involved. So if you say we need to be married, if we're gonna do this for 3 years, and we're gonna have to decide at that point we're gonna get married. Now, if this person agreed to it early on, like, yeah, let's do it. Once that 3 years happen, they can't be upset that the person decided to leave because they agreed to this at a point in time, and that was an understanding moving forward during those 3 years. So that's how I feel. I feel it just needs to just work for both parties at the end of the day.
Right.
Well, Coach, I don't know what you talking about because I've been chasing you for another plan.
We ain't talked formally, boo. Dang.
I'm just playing. No, but I am going to agree with Coach. I think you have to be intentional about your intentions. I think that needs to be discussed from jump. Yeah. I get so upset with guys when they get upset with me when I ask questions like, you know, okay, do you want to be married? Have you been married before? Do you have any intentions? What are your intentions for me? I get that guys get so upset at that question, and it's like, well, I don't just want to be your girlfriend for 3 and 5 and 7 years on end. I am dating with a purpose, and I let that, you know, card be put on the table from the very beginning. I don't want to just be your girlfriend. I got things to do too.
You don't want to be a professional girlfriend?
No, I don't want to be nobody's professional girlfriend.
My sister's trademark that singing, professional girlfriend.
Professional girlfriend.
I just fell in love with it because it is just some professional girlfriends out there. Mm-hmm. But I think that it's sad. Like, I've seen people where they'll say that they really want to be married and stuff like that. However, they'll continue to stay in a relationship where the guy has no intentions on marrying them, and has let it be known, and they're okay. They act like they're not okay, but then they're okay. Like, if you in a relationship, I guess some people say don't fix it if it's not broke. But if you want to be married, but you still in a relationship with somebody 12 years later,
you are your own thing.
Yeah, but it's just really in it, especially the person I know, more in it just for monetary reasons. Feeling as if they're being taken care of. But to me, you're not gonna get different results if you're acting like the wife. So then that's where the question becomes with relationships, like, do you act like a wife? Because what's the difference between a wife and a girlfriend? Because there's so many people out here acting like wives, living together, sharing everything, putting stuff in their name and all of that. Then what is the benefit to getting married?
And that's a good question, because to that, the question is how does a man see your wifely potential? If you know what I'm saying, some things that you would do as a wife, you're not doing as a girlfriend. Do you get what I mean? Like, do I invite you over for dinner every now and then so you can see that I really can cook, bruh? I ain't just going to get takeout. You know what I mean? Do I let you come and just, be in my space to kind of just feel, my atmosphere and soak up some of my space or whatever, so you can see that this is what I do by myself. So when we get together, this is what you can expect.
Right.
Okay. This is what I think of that type of stuff. Like, I don't think like a person should hold back in a relationship just to try to show. I don't think holding back in any situation is the right way to show I have value. Like, if you want to get in this game, you need to show me that you could score some damn points. Okay. So, but I think it really comes down to the person. So you could get all the right stuff from a person, but if that person truly doesn't speak to you like, I know this is my wife, then it don't matter. Just because a person does for you or has X amount of qualities, that doesn't mean that they're the person for you. I think every man knows, like, it's something about this woman that speaks to him that could be like, okay, I want to be with this person. Like, this is my wife. And that's what it comes down to. Like, you done seen it, a dude been with a chick for 5-10 years, took real good care of him. And they break up, and the next year or two, he married.
Right.
Taking care of her. And it's just because that other person just spoke to his spirit more as far as I want to do that. Because I think, in general, I don't think a woman should ever do too much for a man, because men subconsciously revert back to being sons. If a woman does too much, he's gonna get comfortable, and nothing about her would speak to him being a man and feeling like, I have to protect this person, I have to take care of this person.
That's a good point.
Okay.
That's a real good point. So this is coming from a man, like, not giving all. And then, so, like, how much do you put your name on together? You know what I mean?
Nothing. Nothing. Unless y'all live together, like y'all been kicking it for like a year or something like that, year and a half, whatever.
Do you put a time limit on that though? Like, how long are we together but live in separate places before we think about combining and collaborating on being one? Are we doing that before the discussion of marriage? Should we hold on to all of that until marriage? Or
I think a lot of factors go into it. And I think a lot of that really comes down to the time spent together more than anything too. Like, let's say me and Shan, right? Let's say me and you stay in the same city, right? We seen each other all the time. Like, I'm at your spot all the time.
Okay.
My lease is about to be up. We've been kicking it every day pretty much for 9 months. We'll say that. And my lease is about to come up. You're probably going to be like, you might as well just stay here if you rock with me to that level. Because you're like, you paying rent somewhere else. You pretty much blowing money because you're never there. So you might as well move here and start paying for stuff here. That's usually how that will go. But I know dudes, me personally, I'm not moving in with nobody who I can't see myself marrying just because I don't have to. That's what it's going to come down to for me.
Right.
But a lot of dudes do. Like, I know plenty of dudes who they with a girl just because, well, hobosexuals is, the term that people use.
For a place to stay.
Yeah, where, like, I'm with her because she come, I got a place to stay, and I know I'm going to be straight out here. And that ain't the way to live. But that's what I mean.
And sometimes they do stuff like, so they will get you to a place where, you feel comfortable with letting them come stay with you, letting them move in with you. And then when they leave your house and go hang out with the boys, they be still doing their thing somewhere else. But you don't know about it. So when they come back home, we Peggy and Al again. Like,
yeah,
that's true. I think that to me, and on the flip side, women just as well as men, people only gonna allow you to do what you allow. People are only gonna do what you allow them to do. So I've seen people who've been in situations or relationships and feel as if that they've been taken advantage and stuff like that. And that's why I say that the conversations need to be happening up front, because they couldn't be having enough conversations up front if you surprise. Because to me, it shouldn't be no surprise. Like, every time I see a guy ask a lady to marry them and she say no, I'm surprised, because it's like, how didn't you know she wasn't gonna marry you? You guys haven't had that conversation? Or did you have a conversation and she said, yeah, she was gonna marry you, and then the time came
and now she feel different?
Yeah, like, like if she gonna say yeah or not. Like, you just know. Like, usually anytime they say no, whether just because you gotta think, especially when we see a chick say no, we only seeing like the minute clip of this going horribly wrong, and we like, man, keep your head up, dog.
Especially when they do it in a public place around strangers. I think, me personally, I think if that happened to me, even if no was my answer, because if I cared a little bit,
exactly,
I'm not going to embarrass you that bad when I know that we in the middle of the mall, all these people that don't know, people taping it who we don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say yeah to protect you. Right. And then afterwards, I'm going to say, when we get along, like, I can't do, no, I'm not going to do this. I just didn't want to embarrass you. I care too much for you, because to me, that's even worse, because if I'm asking you to marry me, we in the middle of the mall, all these people gather around. I don't even like you as a friend if I'm gonna embarrass you.
Yeah, and that's the point I was getting to. Like, probably before he got down on his knee, he was probably doing something extreme, because he probably got caught cheating or something. She been saying, you need to get up out my crib. Don't be doing this. So he like, man, I'm about to just try to propose to her, show her I'm serious. Like,
it's a Band-Aid in a lot of cases.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect. It's a Band-Aid. Like, you knew that you and her ain't spoke for 2 days. She agreed to meet up with you at the mall, and here you go propose.
With a ring, boy, bye.
Yeah, no. And the thing is, though, for me, if I propose to somebody and they said no, I'm done. We can't. This relationship can't move forward.
Yeah, now I done had that actually was a question before. Like, could you continue on the relationship? More people said no than not. Some people said yeah, that they could continue on the relationship, but if you can't see, yourself being with somebody. Now, it's one thing if somebody asking somebody to marry them in 2 weeks. Then it's like, we don't know each other well enough. But if y'all been dating, a year, and they like, no, man, they ain't fooling with you. Like, let that go. Not gonna happen.
My mind will move too crazy. Like first it'll be like, dang, like she really said no. Then be like, who she messing with? What's his name? Who holding you back?
Right. What about like if y'all had planned to get married and then he called off? Could a relationship start after that?
No, I say that mine didn't.
What? Who did that to you, Nick?
So I called it off.
You called it off?
Yeah, okay. Of course. You think somebody called it?
Popcorn player.
Right. You really think somebody called? That's cute. But whatever.
Yeah, my bad. I'll be tripping.
Yeah, I know. I know you got your own thing going.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But it was me. And I called it off, but it was supposed to have been I called it off with but I still want us to be together, just not, marry this quick. Like, let's hold off, because it was really, I just got cold feet is really what it was.
How long was y'all dating?
Over a year, and I had found another job. I was going to be moving out of town and everything, and it was my dad, like, you don't seem happy and all of this. I mean, like, I remember my grandma had got me this beautiful card and all of this, but then I just got cold feet. I had a child at the time, and it was like, I didn't really want to move him away from his family. The guy family would be the only, all his people. I was moving where he was. So it was like I said, nothing but cold feet. And so we were still, talking and all of that stuff. And then the next thing I know, we were talking less, and he ended up, getting married at, like a year after that, seemed like.
He was just going to get married regardless.
Yeah. And still got married, but go ahead.
Do you think sometimes that guys get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm ready to be a husband. I'm ready to be married. And if it ain't going to be you, it's going to be somebody. Like,
I think a lot of people get to that point, because that's why, like, Coach used the example, and we've all seen that before, that people will be in a relationship and, then all of a sudden they with somebody a short amount of time and they married. Or I think chemistry could just be different.
Ready to get married.
It's definitely people who just want to get married. Like, I didn't heard of dudes buying engagement rings and single. Like, you wanna?
That's as bad as the person who got their wedding dress picked out already.
Yeah, I know somebody personally who has done that. Like that was like his whole shtick was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm ready to get married. Here, man, look, I'm about to show you this. He had the
ring already.
Yeah, he'll show the girls like, look, see, because I'm serious. I didn't buy an engagement ring for whoever I get married to. And my thing is, it wasn't with nobody of substance. I want to make sure.
He would show the females?
Yeah. Like, yeah, see, look at this.
Oh, he would even show the females. See, that's the part. See?
Yeah, like that ring could be for anybody.
For him and for her.
Yeah, because it's like, you don't even know shorty size.
Oh, now that's like an audition right there.
Yeah, nah.
Right. But I think that, like I said now, and I guess Coach kind of agreed with me about, like, doing all your things, because like I know somebody personally that's pretty much doing everything. Like, they like cooking, cleaning, taking care of this man's house. He paying the bills. The guy didn't help take care of they sons and all of that. But the person has always been about money. So he got, got his own business and stuff like that. So then she get to play house, but he won't marry you. So that's what I don't get. Like, why won't he marry you? And then you want to be married, but you like, I know he ain't going to marry me. And ain't nothing worse than some dude knowing that you want to get married and hand you that box on your birthday or something and there's earrings in it.
Yeah. Nah, because
like at the moment he not laughing, but when he get by himself, it's like she
yeah, man. Because a dude know when the chick ain't his wife. Like he just know. Like you know, like it don't matter how much I might get this person. This ain't my wife though. But like it's where I'm at right now.
You think they be knowing like that? Like,
yeah.
But who wastes somebody time for years? Or are you just comfortable like? And because I always be worried about too, you know, like you sitting up here, what if this person in this house that long, taking care of this house, keeping it clean, and then they always in relationships like this. So this ain't the first one that they've been in like this. This is the third one that I don't know of. They're going to find a guy to take care of them, keep their house clean and cook for them, you know, playing the wife role. And then, you know, what if something happened to the guy? His kids and family, them, you think that they're going to come along and be like, yep, you could keep staying here? Or they're going to be like, if you don't get your A up out of here, your time's up.
Yeah, no, I think it might just be the way she carry herself. Because, like, that goes a long way. Like, if you just see a chick and you just know, like, ain't no way I can have a real family with this person. Like, this
but
is
you would
cool,
keep her around for 10 years to clean up and all of that? And
wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute. This isn't my situation. I'll make sure I clarify that. And 10 years is too long. Like, it don't matter what benefits come with the situation. Like, with 10 years, that's your wife at this point. You might as well do it at that point. At 10 years,
okay, so that happened to me with my kids. Like, we were together. I was with them from age 19 to 30.
He put his hands on you?
I want to say, like, what? Shut up, Coach. At year 8, I made the decision, like, okay, I'm out of here. And I think he could feel it. Because, like, I would be out looking for different properties, homes, apartments. And I would do stuff like, I think I'm going to get another job in addition to the one I had. Mm-hmm. So I was just, like, kind of, like, silently moving. I wouldn't ask him no questions. We wouldn't have no discussion. I just kind of felt like if you haven't said anything to me about it, I'm not going to pressure you. And I think he felt that, and that's why. I think he felt like it was something he had to do versus I really love you and I really want to spend the rest of my life with you. I think he was just ready to get married and maybe I wasn't really the one at some point. So, and I blamed him a long time for that. But at the same time, it's like I had to self-reflect. Like maybe I just wasn't mature enough and he was. And that's why. I don't know. Real. But I just kind of feel like all that time that I wasted was way too long.
Yeah, like you look at like I watch Love and Hip Hop. So like Jim Jones and his girlfriend. So she asked him to marry her. Then he come back and asked her to marry him. But now they still been engaged. And I remember Yandy, which I'm team Yandy over Chrissy. Like I can't stand Chrissy. I don't even think Jim Jones like Chrissy because you could see, like, especially this year that they done came back, like her presence just irritate him. He's never going to marry her. But anyway, when he got her the ring, Yandy had made the comment that that's nothing but another 2-year installment plan. Basically, he just doing something to appease her to make her happy, to keep, to keep her for a few more years, and he's still not gonna marry her, which is what we're seeing.
It's been done. It's done every day.
Yeah. This
it's just another band-aid.
But after so long, you know what I mean? It should be
You make the
If
decision.
if you marrying me, we should be setting a date. Like we should really be setting. If you getting on one knee asking me to marry you, we should be setting a date. Unless we're extremely young. Now, if you're in your early 20s, I could see somebody saying we're gonna be engaged for a couple of years till we finish school. Then we're gonna do,
Yeah,
do
that's
it.
fair.
Yeah,
But
right.
when you older, there's no way you should be not setting a date when you ask somebody to marry you, in my opinion. That you should be setting the date when you propose, and shortly after, you guys should know a date. It shouldn't be you talking to somebody and they still talking about a year.
No, because I can't stand, because I've seen this with people my age, like that'll be engaged, where it'd be like, this is our 1 year anniversary of being engaged. Still? Still? Y'all doing anniversaries of being engaged now?
Oh my
Man.
God, anniversaries of
Y'all might as
engagement.
well. Listen, they marrying people every Friday down at the Kenwood
Shout
Court.
out to County Clerk.
Every Friday. Y'all might as well do that at this point.
Go down there and
Wait.
get in line. Cut it
Hold on.
out.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on right quick. Nick, did somebody walk past your camera?
Why you say that?
I thought I seen a dude walk past your camera.
You
I'm
ain't
like,
thought you
yeah, I
saw
was
no
about to
dude.
say, that's I was like, what?
No, you ain't thought you saw no dude walking past this camera.
I was about to say, how long he been there and when he ready to commit.
No, that one you ain't even got to worry about. People be I can name the people who done been I done been in my house almost 2 years, and I could tell you who done been over here. It's a privilege to get an invite to come up over here. Ain't nobody coming up over here walking through.
Exactly. Brother, do you accept the Lord Jesus Christ as your Savior?
Yeah, exactly. That's one. Yeah. No, you just ain't. I just don't like, and I don't like people wasting time. And I can't stand it for a lot of my female friends. And if you are, a Christian and dealing with somebody, you definitely, to me, and it's just me, just Nikki thinking, you should at least have that 7-year rule or 7-year completion. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't be dating in 7 years
No, like the 7-year thing, it's almost like with people when they be like with a female all the time, but be saying they ain't ready for a relationship.
Right.
Like, look, if you spend a night at her house, y'all doing it raw, tongue kissing and stuff, you kicking it with her kids, she going with you to Thanksgiving and Christmas, you are more ready for a relationship than you giving yourself credit for.
Right. And they'll still say that. You'll still get some people who want somebody to be on their arm to do this, cook, clean, their whole family know them, and then they be like, no, I ain't ready for that. What?
What's gonna change, man?
I thought y'all was already married. Like, y'all ain't even married.
Yeah, not only make it official, just go ahead and get on one knee, bruh.
Right, when your job know who the person is
exactly
coming to the Christmas party
and
with
you when he gets sick.
Yeah, come on, man. Okay, I got one for y'all.
Okay.
At what age or what point in the relationship do you remove your parent for your emergency contact?
You know what? I guess I'm not a good person to ask about that, because I just removed my dad as my emergency contact only because he no longer with us. My dad was always just been an emergency contact of mine.
What about you, Shan?
My mother always has been, always will be, because I don't know if you a flip. I got life insurance on me and my kids. I don't got time for you to die. You done took all my kids' money.
So even if you married, your husband won't be your emergency contact.
Might not be available, but I know my mama. If my mama needs to, she will get to me and my children. So she will always be an emergency contact.
I mean, but you got more than one slot. You know what I mean?
No, I'm talking about for that number one. Like when you're
Oh,
filling out
yeah.
job paperwork.
Number one, that one person that's gonna always be on my mother. Hey Gwen.
No.
She gonna always be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. No. That just hasn't happened for me.
I don't know how I would explain that to like my husband. No.
Yeah.
Not
That's
your
what I'm saying, like
husband.
your
If you didn't get married and stuff like that, but you know, I know a lot of people who
I think I would still put my
girlfriend.
mother.
I know somebody. I'm sorry. What you say, Shan?
I think I would still probably put my mama, even if I was married.
Really? And see, I know some people who have boyfriends and girlfriends, you know, is their emergency contact. And I remember us kind of dealing with that one time with I had one of my nephews got sick. His girl felt like she should be the emergency contact.
She should have, cause she held him down. She a real one.
Not like we did.
She got my vote. Yeah. In the long run.
She got my vote.
Well, we changed that. No.
Yeah, I just stopped using my mom as my emergency contact.
Who you use now?
You don't use your mom?
Nope.
Who you use now?
No, I'm just messing with y'all.
No, you
No, you ain't. You ain't.
No, I definitely still use my mom. No, because the thing is, somebody made me feel childish one time when it was like, who you use? And I was like, I still use my mom. And it was like, for real? Still? I'm like, yeah, man. Like,
Who would use that mom though who's not married or something? You know what I mean?
yeah, like I alternate between like my mom and Nana, because like my mom don't stay in town, and like I know like my Nana care about me a lot too, and she stays in town. And retired too.
If I was still in Michigan, my mama would hop a flight right after she hung up the phone. That's my OG right there. She gonna hop a flight right after she hang up.
Yeah.
She might not even take time to. She'll just go to the airport, and the next thing smoking, she on it. That's why I have to put her as my number one. My number one from day one, always.
Yeah, I think that like I said, you just have you got to know, make sure when you doing stuff like that, and I don't think it should be changeable. But I think that you know when people live with people and stuff like that, they do. But it's just unfortunate because you end up we talking about when it's the one, but when it's a lot of people in relationship. I'm sure like for Shan, you and your guy didn't work out or whatever, and it probably felt like a divorce.
Yeah.
Oh my God. If I could put it into words, it felt like a death had happened. Like I just lost somebody. And that I'm still working through it years later. You know what I mean? And it just made me more aware of my decisions. It made me grow up in a lot of different ways. I even had to think about some of the things that I learned from him. You know what I mean? It just made me very bitter for a while. I was really bitter and angry.
Did you feel like he wasted your time? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but did you feel like he wasted your time? Like
I did. But at the same time, like I said, maybe I wasn't mature enough at that time. I could be woman enough to say it. I don't think I was mature enough at that time to really understand what I was getting myself into. And it was more about being Mrs. Turner than actually understanding what that meant. You know what I mean? Other than the wedding and other than being on the deed to the house and other than people having to ask me before, you know what I mean? Like I didn't really understand the whole thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So now that I've had time to really understand like how it affected me, how I should move now, and the lessons that I've learned from it.
So let me ask you a question. Is he married?
He is married, and actually, right after our wedding was called off, we lived together for a little while, and then I moved out. And then he continued to see her. And then they got married like a year and a half later.
He continued to see her, so he was cheating with her?
He had been seeing homegirl. He had been seeing her, and that's where my time was wasted because I gave him the opportunity 3 months before the wedding date to say, I don't really want to do this. And his answer was, I'm doing this because I want to, not because I feel like I'm being made to. So then when we circled back,
you knew about the young lady?
After the wedding was called off, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How's that relationship? Because you guys have, never mind, we ain't going to get into that now.
No, it's good. You know,
Yeah, I know it's probably good now.
We're good now. Like, he really has become, like,
no, I mean, good. I mean, see, this is the issue that I have.
I know he better leave my family alone. Go ahead, Nick.
Right. That's what my issue is. My issue is that what happens very often is someone will come along. Now, I don't know what he was telling her, and y'all wasn't legally married, but y'all living together and all of this. And then somebody comes along, gets involved in your relationship, so cheats with him or whatever. But then when they get with him, now he's married her, she wants respect from you that she didn't give you. So it's like, respect my family, respect my marriage. And it's like, you didn't respect my household. So that's why I say, how do you guys get along? So I'm glad that you guys are at a point where you do, because that would be the hard part for me. Like, I'm going to treat you like you treat, I'm not going to sleep with him. He's not going to get that satisfaction. But too often, the person who has, I won't even give them credit for breaking up the household, but too often mistresses want to be treated different. They want you to respect a relationship that they didn't when they didn't do the same.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is like, she was a wife. She had been married before. So you've been a wife. You know my position. But you still thought that was cute. That's fine. Now, let me just clear something up. My relationship with him is on track. I don't really have one with her. What I will say is this, that my kids love her, okay? And that's where the respect comes in. Because my kids have nothing but good things to say about her. So
I respect her for that, because it'd be too many times the kids, the people win over by pretending they like the kid. Then as soon as they get the dude, they don't be wanting nothing to do with them kids.
He would never have it that way. But you know what? My kid's dad would never have it like that. If he felt like she was like how you described, she would have been gone.
Okay. Well, then at least, like I said, at least, you know, that part of it is, because too often you do see it the opposite way. There's a lot of, wimpy dudes out here who don't take up for their kids, or, they look, which they should, this, my marriage, and not even thinking about, how the kids feel. Because, people be this their life and they don't even be thinking about their kids. Some people.
He's a really good dad. It's a lot that I could say, and I won't because we're in a better place, but one thing I will never take from him is that he's an amazing father. He always has been, and I just pray that he continues. He's always been an A1 dad.
So then some people would say, how do you call him an amazing dad and he cheated on?
Because that was
about his family.
No, but he ain't cheat on his kids. How he ain't amazing dad just because he was a horrible
boyfriend? I'm just saying what some people would say. I didn't say he wasn't. I'm just saying some people would say that.
And I thought that way for a long time. But okay, so that was something personal going on between me and him. Okay. Mm-hmm. But as far as him and my kids go, he's never let that slip. Even if he had come to me and actually said, Shannon, you know what? I just don't really think that us getting married is a good idea. In fact, I don't know if I really want to be in a relationship with you anymore. But I still want my kids. It would be almost like, you know what I mean?
So do you think that he held on as long to the relationship out of the love for the kids?
I think he did. I think he was afraid that I would do exactly what I did. That I would move on. And you know, I have my own personal goals and aspirations, and you know, this place has given me all it's going to have, you know, all it's given me. So my next step is out of here. And that was our goal together. But now since you've declared that you're staying here with her, I'm still leaving. Like, I'm still going to carry this plan out with or without you. So I'm not ever going to keep my kids from you. You're more than welcome to visit. I'll send them up. I'll drive them up. But I'm out of here.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad that worked out, and you know, I know your kids personally, and you know, and they happy and seem to be thriving. And I'm glad that the cheating mistress is nice to the, you know, kids.
Yeah. So that's what keeps everything intact, so to speak, between she and I, is that, you know, my kids love you. So
yeah, and that's important. And people, good. So would you guys spend holidays together? Are you at that point?
No. However, you know, his parents invite me to stuff. You know, they always tell me, you know, I've known you for this amount of time. You know, don't ever feel like you can't call me and ask me for nothing, or just call me, period. You know, you are my grandchildren's mother, and, you know, I'll always be like an extra parent for you. So don't think just because you're not with him no more that we just don't have a relationship at all. That's not true. And the crazy thing is my mom and his mom now have this annual trip they take every year, which I call it the grandma's trip. Nobody else is allowed to go but his mom and my mom.
Oh, that's nice. Because what ends up happening too is, you know, when you've been around for a long time and stuff like that, then and new people get into it, then they be assuming like that then you know, you should no longer be invited to stuff, or you shouldn't come. So then, you know, the family get accused of they funny acting, and or they still trying to get the ex around, and then they don't be realizing it's like, this is my sister. So this my mama. Like, this ain't got nothing to do, you know, with you. You know, this is just a relationship that we always gonna have and have had. I can speak to you now. It's one thing if it's drama going on and all of that type of stuff, but no, especially if you guys were together that long, of course it's gonna be like that.
Right. And like last summer, my daughter celebrated her birthday in Michigan. I drove them up for summer vacation. And during that weekend or whatever, we celebrated my daughter's birthday. We had cake and ice cream, whatever. And I was there at the house with everybody, the grandparents, her, him, and her amazingly cute son. I can't. He's so cute. But we all had cake and ice cream for my daughter together. Now, we kind of stayed out of each other's way. We didn't really speak to each other. But, you know, this is not for any one of us. This is for my daughter. So.
That's good. That's good. And Coach, what you think about that?
I think that's the best case scenario for a situation like that to go. You know what I'm saying? With it, so many different moving parts to it where it could have just went horribly wrong. I think at the end of the day, yeah, I think because I don't know how Shan gonna take this, but at the end of the day, y'all parting probably hurt him as well. Even though he was with another person, there was some pain involved for him as well. So a lot of different people hurt. It could have got very messy, but it didn't, because at the end of the day, the most important thing when children are involved are the children. So for love, for the love of the children to conquer the entire situation, if you ought to move forward, that's the best thing you can ask for.
And I don't ever want my kids to see stuff like that. Like, come on.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
we're adults. And I'm cultivating that kind of thing within him. Like, you don't come from a drama-filled family. You don't come from a drama-filled, this is not what this is. So.
That's my approach to like parenting and co-parenting is that I don't want to disrespect you, especially I don't want to disrespect you in front of the kids or the kids to think that me and you have friction, even if I don't rock with you at all. But it's still, as far as they are concerned, they're growing up in love, and I want people being ignorant to be a foreign concept to them, where they're like, wait, people actually act like this,
right?
And my parents didn't raise me to be like this.
Mm-mm. And eventually, I think she and I will get to a place where, you know, if she's around, you know, we'll be able to, you know, hey, how you doing, you know, or whatever. But I'm also going to be mature enough to say and woman enough to say right now that just right now, probably not. I can be in the same space with you. I just, you know, I'm a stand over here with my baby.
Yeah, basically. Right. Keep your distance, shorty. So, all right. So that wraps us up for this evening. So it's time for us to do our closing remarks.
Who want to go first?
Coach.
You're right, because I just spoke. I just volunteered myself. I don't really have too much of anything. I think this was a great episode. I think people should just do what works for them, for both parties involved. And that's all I had to say. And tune in to Global World Wednesdays at the Global Money World Instagram page every Wednesday night at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be going down this week with my special guest, Sam Werhart from the Takeaway Podcast. It's going down, baby. Shout out to Nick. She was in there. She see how hyped the people get.
Definitely gonna have to check you out, Coach.
Right. Go ahead, Shayna.
I'm gonna stand with Coach and be, you know, just be true about it. Be intentional about your intentions. Don't waste anybody's time. If you know that a person is not for you in any aspect, you know what I mean? Just let them know, you know, this is not really what I'm looking for. Be intentional. Be intentional. Say what you mean what you say, and, you know, that's it.
Be intentional.
Okay. Hit it, Travis.
So, all right. And then I'm on that same thing. I'm just saying, just make your intentions known. That's what I want to say. You can't get mad at somebody if you haven't made your intentions known. Make your intentions known. If you're not sincere or can't hold up to what the expectations are, bow out gracefully, and give somebody else the opportunity to make somebody else happy. If you know that you're not that person, don't stop wasting people's time. Life is too short to be wasting somebody else's time just because you selfish and feel like you can't afford an apartment on your own.
True.
And women stop acting right. And women stop acting like full-time wives for somebody who not acting like a husband to you. Stop doing all of the stuff that a wife should do, thinking that that's what's going to get somebody to marry you, because all of the time, that's not what it is. Sometimes for some people, it's just that she taking care of this. I'm glad she here. Basically, you sometimes the maid would benefit. So, continue to listen to Nikki B and Friends and follow us on Facebook at NIKKIB and Friends. Follow that Facebook page and then follow our Instagram at Nikki NIKKIB _ and Friends _ Nikki B _ and Friends. Yeah. on Instagram, and we appreciate you guys. And thank you for all of the support that you gave and listening to us coming back and all of the feedback and all of the Heard R. Kelly fans hang in there. And we'll holler at you next week. And again, we are, I did like being able to have somebody call in with an opinion. So just working on, trying to make sure that we're able to do that. You may not be able to put your comment here, but you can do it on Global Money World on Wednesdays on Instagram, because you can get into the conversation by typing your message at the back. I'll be there this Wednesday because I'm telling y'all it was hype. I'm glad my notification was on.
It was.
I know where Coach was, but I still will never forget the words of, man, I'm so glad you back on this week.
I know. I was like, appreciate you, brother.
I'm so glad you back. I'm like, what? So that really shocked me because he ain't said a word because he's so busy.
But thing going on.
Right. So peace, love, and soul.
Holla.
Bye-bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're done when I see you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're done when I see you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're done when I see you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're done